Chelsea Football Club are closing in on the signature of Jules Kounde. The only thing holding it up, as per many, many weeks now, has been the Kurt Zouma situation. As per Fabrizio Romano and a number of other credible journalists, the deal is pretty much in place. And Chelsea will make the official bid and they'll make the official approach once Kurt Zouma leaves. But don't be fooled for one single minute, Chelsea fans. Your club is not stupid enough to sit there and start this deal flat-footed, twiddling their thumbs, waiting for Kurt Zouma and West Ham to come to a full and total agreement on personal terms. Chelsea have been working on the deal for Jules Kounde. They know how much to bid to get this deal over the line. The suggestion is that the deal is already done from an agreement point of view with all three parties. They're simply waiting for the 25-ish million pounds to come in for the Kurt Zouma sale before they officially trigger things forward. We're going to be delving into that transfer and a number of others, looking at Neguez, looking at Neves, talking about Kylian Mbappe as well. Big words coming out of PSG. They are not happy with the French superstar and his potential move away. We're also this evening going to be previewing Chelsea versus Liverpool in the Premier League. A big touch on that. Plus Man City versus Arsenal. What a super Saturday we are set to have in the footballing world. But do me a big favor and smash that like button. A big shout out to our title sponsors, Bet Victor, tonight. I'm joined by Anita, Daniel, Jess is back, Neeks is here. And making his debut on this show, Liverpool fan Hussam is here. The man that thinks VVD is going to pocket Lukaku. We're going to delve into all that and much more later. Smash that like button. Here we go. How are we all? Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good. There we go. It's nice. There we go. Nice. Everyone say hello. Welcome, Hussein. Welcome to your first appearance on the show, on this show, as it were.
Happy to be here. Thank you for having me, and just ready to get things going.
Absolutely. Previews are coming up a little bit later on in the show, ladies and gentlemen. We'll have a bit of transfer talk to start with, and I think there's only one place really today we can start. We will touch on Jules Kounde in a moment, but Harry Kane, Daniel, staying at Tottenham. And reportedly, he's staying at Tottenham because the fans were nice to him.
Yeah, man. I mean, look. I mean, there's PR and there's PR. Like, everyone knows Harry Kane, the situation with Harry Kane. If City were to put the money in, he would obviously be more than happy and over the moon to leave. The bit of advice I would give to anyone is, look, no matter who you work for, do not tie yourself down to the point where you don't have options and you're not in control of your future, because that's the situation Harry Kane finds himself in. At 24 years old, I wouldn't say he was sold a dream, because at the time Tottenham were a team on an upward spiral and he was promised certain things in terms of squads, squad ability, squad improvement, and challenging for titles. And he obviously believed that dream. And obviously at 24, he signs a 6-year deal, thinking that was going to be the case. And obviously now at 28, it's not really panned out the way he thought it would. So yeah, man, look, the thing that he done, the fans are all great and all of that, I'm going to buckle down and all. Look, he had to. Like, he didn't really have a choice. If City didn't want to pay the 180 million I read that Daniel Levy wants, because obviously Daniel Levy is way in the market and what's happened. He's seen Lukaku go for about 100. He's seen Jack Grealish go for 100. Look, strikers of that ilk are at a premium price, and he puts the price that he thinks is Harry Kane is worth. So yeah, man, Harry Kane, man, it's unfortunate, man. I don't really like seeing, and there's no disrespect to Tottenham, but I don't really like seeing great players like Harry Kane who really want to do good things for their career have to stay at the club that they're at. He should be able to level up if he wants to, but at the end of the day, he can't, man. He signed a contract.
This is very true. How about yourself, Jess? I mean, did you expect this to happen? Are you annoyed that he's staying? Did you want to see sort of Spurs in the mud in relation to losing their greatest ever Premier League player? What was your take on that big breaking news today?
I mean, the longer that it took for the deal to get over the line, the more unlikely it felt, because there's a lot of work that Spurs would have to do, in order to replenish their squad if Harry Kane had left. And with Martinez looking off of the, maybe staying at Inter it looked like, okay, well, the longer it takes, the less likely it is to happen, especially with Levy, because he seems to be a very tough negotiator, and you could tell that he did not want to sell Harry Kane. So am I surprised? I think if this had happened like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I would have been, because I think it was very clear that Kane wanted to go. And but the Grealish situation, I think, just threw a wrench into all the plans there. You know, they prioritized Grealish and left it late with Kane, which is, I think, the harder deal to do anyway. So, yeah, I mean, he wanted the move and he didn't get it. I guess my question to Spurs fans is like, do you really care like why he stayed? Do you really care? Like, you know, he didn't want to, he's not going to down tools on you guys. Like, he's not, he's going to play hard. He may fall off, physically decline. You never know, but he'll give his 110%. So who cares why he stayed? It fell through. It's working out for you guys. Smile. You have the best striker that ever played for you still here. It's fine.
I mean, we know that the reason that he stayed is because the deal couldn't be struck between the clubs, but Spurs fans are going to pull on it thick that it's for love, and it's, you know, they cheered his name so well away at Wolves. I couldn't believe it. Sometimes I know I tweeted it, put it into the group chat. Sometimes I think football fans deserve to be mistreated by their clubs. When I see that sort of stuff, it's like, I said it the other day, cucks, mate. Just accepting of what the other one's doing, and it's mad. But Harry Kane staying with Chelsea though, Neats. You're linked now with Jules Kounde. Zuma almost agreed now for him to move off and go and join West Ham United. Jules Kounde on his way in, and with a little sprinkling, maybe a little bit of spice added, with Sao Niguez looking pretty certain. I mean, you must be excited about this last week of the transfer window for Chelsea.
I mean, the expectation is to be excited, right? But I'm just here like, all right, cool. You know, like I don't know. I feel like I'm one of the few Chelsea fans. I don't really get too excited with Jules Kounde or Niguez as well, because I look at it as we have so many options in our back line, so many options in midfield. I'm thinking, how are these players going to just, you know, we're going to pay a lot of money for Jules Kounde in particular. How's he going to just slide into our back three and, you know, bang instantly, especially when this is the Premier League, the hardest league in the world to come to and kind of hit the ground running, you know? But I'm excited for the future because I feel like Chelsea fans are missing the point with Kurt Zouma having to leave to make way for Jules Kounde. When we kind of plan on getting Jules Kounde, I feel like it's a plan for the future. So it's a plan to have him and keep him here for a long time. With Kurt Zouma, he's had his time here at Chelsea. In a back three, we've seen it doesn't quite work out. So a lot of Chelsea fans are a bit bitter about Kurt Zouma leaving. But I guess my message to them is, listen, sometimes you just got to move on from a player, and unfortunately Kurt Zouma is that player to move on from. Jules Kounde is looking like our future, especially in our back line, because let's face it, Thiago Silva and Azpilicueta, they're gone next season. Like next season, you're most likely not going to see them. So Jules Kounde, Trevor Chalobah, they're going to be our future of our back line. But Sao Niguez, that one threw me off because he's not going to be starting every single game. It's very clear that Kante and Jorginho are Tuchel's favourites. Sao Niguez, I see him coming in as a backup. But how does somebody who's played over 40 games for Atletico Madrid, one of the giants in La Liga, come to Chelsea and sit on the bench? It doesn't add up to me. Like something fishy is going down. Like it just doesn't make any sense to me, innit? Like that's why I'm not so excited, because there's something there that I might be missing, because this means somebody's gonna have to drop off. Who's it going to be? Is it going to be Kovacic? Is it going to be Kante? It's not going to be Jorginho, so I'll put that to the side. Do you get what I'm saying? So who's going to be that sacrificial lamb for Sao Niguez to come in? Because he is a 35-plus game player. And it's not even like he hasn't got quality. He's got quality of a 35-plus game player. So it's weird to me that we're getting him in on loan when we have young talent sitting there like Ethan Ampadu as well. So it's difficult for me to get happy.
I do have that. There is some breaking news I do have to go to right now. Legit breaking news. Very intriguing indeed. Pep Guardiola has confirmed that he must take a break after 7 years at Manchester City. That's at the end of next season in 2023. He says, I need to stop and learn from other coaches and maybe take that path into the international team. This has come out of a number of outlets in South America, but it looks like at the end of the 2023 season, so that is this season and next, Pep Guardiola could be coming to the end of his reign at Manchester City. That is breaking news this evening. That's only a few minutes old. Pep Guardiola may be on his way out. I mean, I have to say,
Wow.
I'm excited. I'm excited. The Harry Kane news seems to have hit him hard. He's now he's on his way. Often we obviously have a plan of action on these shows, but you can't ignore that news while you're live on the air. Neeks, what's your reaction? At the end of 2023, he's highly likely to leave.
So 2023, so 2 more years.
Yes.
This season and next.
Listen, Pep Guardiola. If you do not win a Champions League in the next 2 years, Abdullah, bring him back on the show. Because he's right. The man is a fraud. The man is a bottle job. Yeah, you can win a league. You can win Champions League with Messi. You're not the first one to win Champions League with Messi. Even Pochettino might win a Champions League with Messi. You better win the Champions League in the next 2 years. And I don't want to hear any excuses. 1 billion euros spent. 1 billion. You better win that Champions League. I've heard shouts about comparing to people like Sir Alex Ferguson. You ain't done what Sir Alex Ferguson done. You're taking sabbaticals. Sabbatical after Barcelona. Sabbatical after Man City. You don't know hard work, man. Come on, man. But listen, it'll be a big loss for the Premier League. Let's not get it twisted, because he has been, as much as it's been for our rivals, Man United, he's been a great addition to the Premier League. But it shakes things up. It shakes things up massively, because as good as that Man City squad is, they are as good as they are because of the Pep Guardiola add on top of it. So,
I totally get that. And I wanted to show here as well, if you look here at the odds on the Champions League here from our partners, BetVictor, and you can sign up to one of their accounts now. The link is in our description below. They've got some amazing offers I'll go through in a moment as well, but you can read them all in our description. Make sure if you can't see it in our description, just refresh it. It should be there. But they're 7-2 favorites, just behind PSG to win it this year. And if he is going in 2 seasons, there's 2 years left for Pep Guardiola to win that elusive Champions League trophy without Lionel Messi. Like that's going to follow him around. Fandom will follow that around forever. Hussam, what's your take on this news, mate?
I'm very happy he's gone. So like I'm happy he's gonna leave this league. This guy, like, this is why he doesn't belong in the Ferguson conversation. This is why he doesn't belong in these conversations. As much as Ferguson ruined my childhood and I hate him, and seeing his face pisses me off, with Pep, like this whole taking sabbaticals, taking a break, this entire thing, I don't rate it at all. Whenever faced with adversity, it seems like, he just packs his bags and leaves. The thing is with this thing, like it's no surprise to me that as soon as City are not getting Harry Kane, something like this happens. So with Pep, like, I just don't rate him as highly as people do. I rate Klopp over him as things stand today as well. So I'm happy he's gone. Thank God he's gonna leave the Premier League, so he can take his checkbook fraud bald face somewhere else, and we can actually, I'm just sick of him, man. So I'm happy he's gone. He's just a hateable manager. It's just my opinion. So I'm happy he's gone, and it's interesting to see where he'll go next. So if he goes to PSG, Juve, etc., then it's the same old. Probably win 2-3 French leagues, win 2-3 Italian leagues. But I want Pep to actually take on a challenge, maybe go to a Milan, go to those type of teams, and maybe that will build his legacy up in my eyes. But to me personally, I'm just gonna say it as my honest opinion. I'm happy he's gone. I wish he can go this season, to be honest.
I hear you. I hear you on that. We have a Danko, one of our members, has the exclusive on why he's leaving, though. Tuchel broke Pep confirmed. Tuchel broke Pep confirmed is what's being said there from one of our wonderful members. We also have another super chat here from KC, who says Fergie was a European flop, 2 Champions League in 26 years. Even Zidane is better than him in Europe, 3 in 5. United fans with just 3 shouldn't talk about the Champions League. We'll leave that one there. Thank you very much for that super chat, my friend. You did obviously forget what Fergie did with Aberdeen, but we'll leave that one. Do you know what I mean? Maybe you weren't born. I don't know what it was. But that's the transfer roundup. We'll touch a little bit later on the Mbappe thing if we can. The Pep Guardiola thing kind of dominated that and took over it. Next up on the show, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be delving into one of the biggest games of the Premier League this weekend. We're looking at Manchester City versus Arsenal. Can the Gunners get their first goal of the season? Can they win the game? Will the Pep news galvanize that Man City dressing room, or will they lose their heads? We're going to delve into it right now. Jess looks nervous as hell. Let's do this. Jess, you're taking on Man City this weekend. Give me your thoughts. How are you feeling ahead of this massive, massive game?
Here we go again. That's basically how I feel. I mean, I never look forward to this game ever. I don't think we've scored on them in the league in like 3 seasons. Like, we never play good against them. We never lay a glove on them. They always look really comfortable, so I expect nothing different. It's so sad to say, but it's like our season really starts against Norwich. It really does. These games always look really difficult, Chelsea and Man City back to back, and with us not being anywhere near prepared enough and our quality being so much less, in comparison to those 2 teams, it's always going to be difficult. So I'm not excited, and I even feel like if you were West Ham or Leicester going into this game, you'd probably be like not optimistic, but probably not the way we feel. We know we have like no chance. Like, you know what I mean? So it's gloomy. I'm not excited about it, but hey, you guys will probably enjoy it. So yeah.
Neat. Is there an argument here for Arsenal? As we can see here with our partners, Bet Victor, 12-1 to win the game. I mean, it's 11-2 for a draw. So City are the overwhelming favourites, but can you make a case for Arsenal maybe pulling out a shock result?
Logic tells you they're going to get an absolute battering, but at some point the Arsenal judge needs to kick in, and unfortunately for a bad penalty decision, and they weren't able to do it against Chelsea, unfortunately. But this week. I think there's a little pack anyway between Arteta and Pep, where Pep doesn't really try his hardest because he doesn't want to embarrass Arteta. He put in a good word for Arteta to get a job. Imagine he gets embarrassed 5-0 and Arteta gets sacked. It doesn't really look good on Pep and his judgment. I'm not gonna do it this week. I'm not gonna do it. Last week I said Arsenal might get a draw at home with Chelsea. I'm not gonna do it this week. At 12-1, it's a good bet because anything can happen in football. But I'm not going to lie, you might as well just give me the money if you're going to put that 12-1 bet on, because I see nothing but a battering from Man City. The way that Man City dealt with Norwich, I think they might deal with Arsenal the same way. And that's embarrassing because Norwich are newly promoted. 3 games, 0 points, 0 goals, 0 hope.
I mean, Daniel, you're smiling there. You're sitting there. I mean, do you agree? I mean, is this almost, could it be a funeral for Arsenal? Could it just be an absolute embarrassment of a day? Or do you predict maybe there's a bit of a shock on the cards here?
Nah, man. The bets that you look at and you just ignore, like, there's just not even any point. Like, where there's optimism to put a bet down for something. I just think Arsenal are kind of a cheeks team at the moment. They don't really excite you anymore. Like, one of the things, obviously, seeing them live actually changed a lot of things about them, in my opinion. Like, basically, I just couldn't see what the spine is. I couldn't see who the leaders were. I couldn't see who they could look up to. Like, they're relying on Saka and Emil Smith-Rowe, who I actually think is quite neat. He's a neat and tidy player, but they're relying on these youngsters to get them out of trouble, and it's kind of long for them. Like, why are you relying on Emil Smith-Rowe, Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Martinelli? Like, what's happened to the spine, the people, the leaders? Xhaka was on his way out. Now he's captaining the side week in, week out. And he's like the fulcrum of the midfield now. Holding. I mean, to be fair, Ben White, I won't get onto Ben White in it because COVID is serious, but that guy, anyway, we won't speak too much about him. But Holding, Mari, like, these guys aren't good. Even Tierney, Tierney obviously showed heart and desire, but I was gonna say, I said it in the chat, what kind of hard man gets injured? He should stop tucking in his shirt. I'm tired of it. He needs to stop doing that. He's not a hard man. Always injured, always out. He's not available. So stop being some hard man who comes in, plays well for about 5 games, then gets injured. I'm tired of seeing it. And then Cedric, like, come on, this is Arsenal Football Club. Like, what was the stream? I think it was this show. Yeah, I saw a stream and watched it back, and someone said they're a big brand now. They're no longer a big club. Like, it's such a facade to call Arsenal a big club, and I agree. It's the brand name now. Like, who could maybe Woolworths? You know, Woolworths back in the day, like no longer the shop to go to. Like, that's Arsenal now, and it's really not good enough, man. But yeah, man, it's a bet you ignore. You don't put money down for this one. There's no shocks happening at all.
Terry, could I just say, I think Arsenal's only chance of getting something from this game is if Arteta doesn't hang the players out to dry. And I say that in the sense, in the last game against Chelsea, who's clearly a superior team, he went there to play like Arsenal were peak Man City. Man went 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1, whatever the formation is, obviously passing out from the back, trying to keep the wingers high. And of course, you're getting cut open. Like Reece James had the freedom of North London. As a matter of fact, I saw him just run past my house, past Tierney. The whole of North London was Reece James. And you're like, what's going on? Who's supposed to be tracking him? Is it Saka?
Well, that's why I made a prediction based on feeling like he would do what he's done in the past, which is be humble, realize that you don't have the players, and sit back and play.
I thought he would do that against Chelsea. I thought he would match them 3 at the back.
He didn't do it. And I said from the beginning that if he didn't do that, he's just leaving us exposed. Without Thomas, you can't play like that at all. And even with him, I still think we would have a difficult time. So when you watched it, it just was a bunch of kids out there. I mean, you have a bunch of kids up front, you had a kid in the midfield, and you have really, really bad players in the back, and Marie and Holding trying to deal with Lukaku. And Tierney is not fit. So why did he play? What's the point of even buying Tavares if you're not going to play him? So it's just, what is that 4-4? That 4-4 thing that you guys are doing? I'm too old for that.
4-4.
So I'm like realizing Anita's like 21 and I'm like 10 years older than you. So I don't know what you guys are
doing. Oh, baby, I'm 25.
Listen, man, I've got
applied. 10. It's still applied. I'm like,
when I hear 25, I just think I've got 10 years plus VAT on top of that. Do you know what I mean? It's a mad one. VAT on top. Do you know what I mean? And I'm talking like post-COVID VAT, nothing that was before it. That tax code is going up. We're going to talk a bit more about Arsenal in a moment here. I want to take a look here at some of the odds going into this game. Of course, you can sign up now to a brand new Bet Victor account. All the information is inside our description below. When you bet £5, you do get a £30 free bet. You just need to go to the offers page and get that done. Of course, you have to be over the age of 18. Read all the terms and conditions. And always, if you fancy a flutter, always do it responsibly. Don't bet your mortgage money. Don't bet the bill money or the food money. Only what you can afford to lose, because it should be fun and enjoyable. We're only going to be doing small bets on here today. But I want to get everyone's opinion on some of these odds here. So I am tempted to put Arsenal to win, like a $5 on it, but I'm probably going to waste my money, right? I'm probably going to waste my money.
Don't do it, Terry.
So don't do that.
What we're going to look here at is boosted odds. There's some boosted odds here on Bet Victor today. City to win 4-0 has been boosted from 12-1 to 14-1. Do you reckon that's a good one? Like 14-1 for Arsenal to lose 4-0 with a boosted bet here with Bet Victor.
For Arsenal to
14-1.
No, I think that's put it this. Arsenal are more likely to lose 4-0 than they are to win 1-0. So I think that's a great bet. 2-1. That's like this at the Etihad.
Etihad. Yeah,
we're not going to play a 3-4-3. We're going to be very open, and we're going to get scored on early. Like
scored on. It's that Americanism back again, isn't it? Against.
Scored against.
If you dare say there's going to be 1 goal scored before intermission, you're out of here. Do you know what I mean?
Intermission. I've never said that in my whole life.
Yes, I'm watching you. Eye on you. Look, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go with 4. I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go 14-1. there it is. What else is in my betting slip? What else have I put in here? I'm going to get rid of that because I don't want. That's going to be later. That's what I'm going to put in here. 14-1, and I'm going to stick 5. I'm going to stick a $5 on that. I don't quite know what I'm doing. There you go. £5 on it. It gives me a return of £75, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to do that now. That bet is being put on. That is processing live on the air. That is done. That's success. Man City to win 4-0 is what I have put on there. Thank you there to BV. We have a super chat that says, so if Man United waited a week, they would have gotten Messi. And now they've missed out on Kane. Pep is leaving in 2023. God is a Man United fan. I am convinced. I mean, it has ended up being a really bad window for Manchester City. Legitimately ended up being a bad window for Manchester City. Another super chat says, apart from Silva, how many Chelsea centre-backs can get into the Liverpool squad? And if Mendy and Lukaku get injured for more than 3 months each, Chelsea is done. We will delve into that a little bit later when we go into the Chelsea-Liverpool preview. That is coming up later on, ladies and gentlemen. But Hussam, I wanted to ask you a question about Arsenal. Do you look at Arsenal now as being a finished club when it comes to talking big six, top six? Or do you think they're just on a bit of a lull and they're on their way back? How do you look at them as a Liverpool fan looking at Arsenal? What's your take, mate?
I think Arsenal, to be honest, I do look at them as a finished club. Like, it's interesting how no one's giving Arsenal any hope. What we've seen before, like, relegation candidates can like actually pose a threat to the top two. The season we won the league, Norwich beat Man City, so no one expected that. So football is a crazy game. It's a crazy game. You never know what happens. So, you know, the thing is with Arsenal, I look at the players as well, and they don't fill me with any confidence. Like, Tierney acts like a hard man, yet he tucks his shirt in. Pablo Mari just got absolutely destroyed against Lukaku. Like, I don't think he can sleep at night after what happened to him. Like, with Arsenal, the thing is, the only way they could somehow, in some crazy way, get a result against City, they need to park the bus. They literally need to play 11 men behind the ball and just hit City on the counter. That's the only way they could get anything. But Arsenal as a club are finished now. When you finish 8th for 3 years in a row, I think this year they're going to finish as well 8th or below. So like, how can they attract players? Like, someone growing up right now, how does he look at Arsenal and go like, yeah, I want to support that club? I don't think, like, Arsenal are no longer an attractive club. And I'm the best one to talk about that because we were literally like them 10 years ago. 10 years ago, we were like Arsenal, that 2010 Roy Hodgson era, Jay Spearing, Paul Konchesky, Soterios Kyriakos. I remember Nathan Eccleston up front. Like, I bet half of you don't even know like who I'm even mentioning right now. And this is exactly what's happening to Arsenal. Like, they're getting a keeper who got relegated 3 times, possibly the worst keeper in the league last season. I have no idea how they went to Brighton with 50 million and came out with Ben White instead of Bissouma. So it's just transfer decisions that us as football fans, laymen, understand exactly what's going on. But for them, it's a sticky one still.
No, listen, I do hear you on that. Viewers, we want your views and your opinions there as well. But what's also circulating around Arsenal at the moment is the potential of Mikel Arteta to be losing his job. We saw reports in the Telegraph this week that he may be on his way out very, very soon. Want to take a little look at the odds around him maybe losing his job as well. As we can see here, 8-11 on, the favourite still to lose his job. But the talking point around it isn't so much him being sacked. Like, I think people are waking up to the idea that if he keeps losing games, he'll lose his job. Edu, though, yesterday evening, the Mirror were reporting that he might be on his way out and stuff along those lines. Do you have any faith, Jess, that if you do sack Arteta, if Edu does go, do you actually have faith, though, that your club will replace them with good quality managers and directors of football? Do you have any faith that it could be of a Conte level, of a, I don't know, Pep Guardiola's leaving in 2 years, could you tempt him? That's a joke. But do you think you could get that caliber of manager, that caliber of football director? Spurs just went and got Pedicic. What's your take on it?
No. I mean, my biggest thing with the club is the Cronkies don't know how to hire. And if you can't hire, your business is going into the ground. That's their biggest issue. Arteta is an issue only because he's behaving like somebody who's never done their job before. what do you expect? You know, Edu is acting like somebody who's never done their job before. He's quite inexperienced as well. And even, you know, some of the things that he did as a footballing director, wherever he was in Brazil, weren't great. You know, so I don't have faith that they'll be able to decide quick enough when to sack Arteta, because for them to be kind of, they probably should have sacked him over the summer, you know, and you're not good at hiring mid-season. So it's just like this weird thing where even if we get to a point where we sack Arteta, I just don't see them being able to make the right decision. I really, really don't. I see them wasting time. Why even waste Conte's time in talking to him? You know, you're not going to give him the money to rebuild. And, you know, he's going to look at our squad and say, this is not good enough. So I just don't think they have it. Like, they just don't, because the last like 3 or 4 hires that they've made have been horrendous. So, yeah, I don't really think so. But on the whole, like Arteta, Edu thing, I honestly feel Edu should be sacked. Like, if he's not sacked yet, he should be for the window. I get what you were trying to do, but my caveat to all of this business was always based around like, okay, well, if you have the money to still get the midfielder and to get the right back, then fine, spend the 50 million on Ben White. But now we've gotten to a point in the window where we have to sell to buy in a really bad market with really bad players. So he has to go. Our squad, we have no like legitimate right back that we can be comfortable in. We don't have a midfielder. I mean, they kept Granit, and he's our main midfielder. Who does that? You know, so I think Arteta, yeah, he needs to go. It's when for me, but Edu should be sacked right away. And like, I have more faith that they can probably get the DOF in than the manager. I don't think they have any idea what we need for a managerial appointment. And they like people who will take bullets. And most managers won't do that. Good managers won't do that. New managers like Arteta, who are just trying to fill, you know, their resume up a little bit, you know, somebody will hire him. Somebody in France or Spain will hire him. But anybody who really cares about the reputation right now is not going to take the bullets that the Kroenke should be taking. So the managerial appointment is a strange one for me, because I think we end up with somebody else like an Emery, like an Arteta, and go backwards still.
I hear you on that one. Viewers, what do you think is happening at Arsenal? Where do you put the blame? What should be getting done? Coming up next is going to be the Liverpool versus Chelsea preview. We're talking Klopp versus Thomas Tuchel. We're talking Virgil van Dijk versus Romelu Lukaku. We want your thoughts. We want your feelings. Make sure you've smashed that like button before we continue, ladies and gentlemen. Let's delve straight into this. Big game this weekend. 2 of the title contenders up against one another in the Premier League. The first sort of major clash of the season with respect to sort of Tottenham City that's already happened, and Chelsea Arsenal. This is 2 people vying for the title here. And Chelsea have started brilliantly. So have Liverpool Football Club. Both 6 points from 6, team scoring goals, both looking comfortable at the back. Anita, where's your head at going into this game? Are you confident? Do you have faith in Tuchel? You know, you beat them at Anfield last season. Where are you at with this right now?
I have a lot of faith in Tuchel, but I also have a bit of common sense where I know Liverpool are currently on this high at the moment. And when they're on a high, it's really hard to beat them. I really think the fact that fans are back in the stadiums is going to play such a huge part, ain't it? You don't go to Anfield and win without, you know, getting that type of goosebumps from the fans, you know? Like, the fans, they will boo your ass off. I'm going to tell you that for a fact. They're going to come to Thomas Tuchel and they're going to boo our arse off and make such a hostile environment. It's going to be humbling for these Chelsea players to come back to Liverpool fans, especially because Timo Werner, Kai Havertz, they haven't experienced this yet. They haven't experienced the kind of not, I don't want to say they're nasty, but like they're just so in your face. They haven't experienced those type of fans yet. And it's going to be interesting to see how they'll be able to handle it. Or I know Lukaku's probably faced worse, especially playing in Italy. He's definitely faced worse. And one thing he does love to do is silence his haters. So I will be looking forward to seeing how each and every one of our players handle this. But again, you do not go to a packed Anfield Stadium and expect to win. So if we do win, hats off to us. like I said, I'm gonna milk it for probably the rest of the season if we do win. And for me, that will set the tone for this season. And I will say that Chelsea are going to win the league. But if we don't win it, I won't be surprised at the same time. I'm gonna go for a draw anyway, because all of these type of matches are always hyped up to the point where you're so gassed for it, and then it's like a 0-0 or 1-0 or a 1-1 or something, you know. So yeah, I'm gonna go for a draw, 1-1. Hopefully a Lukaku goal, but boy, I'm telling you, we're gonna need something spectacular on the weekend, and I'm okay with that. If Thomas Tuchel comes out and shows up, baby, trust me, I'm gonna be back on here. I'm gonna be back on it. I'm gonna be happy and proud. But again, I'm not expecting it.
And I hear you. You definitely should have reservations when going to Anfield, full capacity crowd, and they're going to be up for this. Hussam, from your point of view, are you nervous? This Chelsea team, since Tuchel has arrived, they've been pretty much flawless. They've added one of the best goal scorers in the world to their team. They're European champions. They've started the season seamlessly. They're going to be a massive acid test for some of your players that return from injury, the likes of Van Dijk, etc. What's your take on this game? How do you see it going?
I think this game is going to be tactical masterclass. You're going to watch Tuchel and Klopp both at their best. This game actually reminds me of the feel of the Liverpool 0-0 against City game, where it was just, very tactical. Like both teams were a bit cautious because this is the start of the season. And, I don't think you can't obviously win the league. Obviously, United won the league last week, but you can't really win the league at the start of the season. But you can lose it, though, because of momentum, etc. Like Chelsea, I know they have a hard run coming up. We also get a few harder games towards, I think, within a month or so. So I think, look, the thing is, this is going to be a very cautious game. Obviously, Terry clipped me up when I said Van Dijk will pocket Lukaku, and I've changed my mind. I think I'm just kidding. Lukaku will 100% get pocketed by Van Dijk and Matip. I'm not worried about Lukaku whatsoever. I am 100% guaranteeing it right now. To every single person watching, Lukaku will not score at Anfield. The only way he scores at Anfield is through a penalty. That's the only way he's going to score at Anfield. But open play goal, that is not going to happen whatsoever. I'm so comfortable with Van Dijk and Matip. They're going to deal with Lukaku. I've seen them deal with better strikers and etc. When our team is fully fit, I'm not scared of any single team in world football. I'll take on PSG tomorrow. I'm not worried. The reason I told Terry I think Chelsea are favorites is because I'm looking at the overall picture. But as things stand right now, I'm not scared of Chelsea whatsoever. Not scared of anyone whatsoever.
Bring the mic. Bring the mic. Bring the mic.
What are you saying, Daniel?
Let me tell you now. I got a new nickname for Romelu Lukaku. They call him Teabag. Shall I tell you why? If you watch Prison Break, see what happened to Teabag. He's got these people who hold his pocket because he's got them under his control. He's got Pablo Mari and Rob Holding. Joel Matip and VVD are next. I'm telling you now. They're going to be holding his pocket. Romelu Lukaku, I said it already. He's coming for Harry Kane's head. If he wins the league as Chelsea's main striker, he becomes the best striker in the Premier League. It's simple. Simple as. And the reason for that is because he's going to show his worth. He's going to show why he was bought. I don't think you lot saw what he was doing. And I know people are going to say it was just Arsenal and this and that. But I'm seeing someone who's different, more intelligent, someone who's able to suss out certain things. Like, I don't know about you, Anita, but it was so refreshing to see a striker who knew when to time his run, who knew when to not be offside, who knew when to be behind the defense, but knew when to come back onside and knew when to make his run, who knew when to go out wide to try and take on the fullback and then get other people involved. That is what is happening, and he's a glue guy. He's someone that is like a magnet. He attracts a lot of attention and allows other players to run away from him. That's why I think this is a game where Werner could really succeed, because he's not going to have all the attention on him. I don't know if you remember when we played Liverpool at Stamford Bridge, and Timo Werner, basically, he was the focal point. He was the center of attention, and they were just getting onto him. They were onto him. Lukaku's going to be that center of attention, and he loves that. He loves the attention. Like, come on, look at the confidence. They asked him, what do you think of your performance? And he said dominant. Come on, man. A guy that says that is not someone you play with. I'm sorry. You can say,
be scared.
You can say,
I'm not scared at all.
You can say, ooh.
I don't.
This Liverpool team isn't impressive to me.
Do you know what?
This Liverpool team isn't impressive.
Nor is the Chelsea team.
I just feel like it's really rich, yeah. I feel like it's really rich, right? Coming from a Liverpool fan, after the humbling you guys served last season, for you to come on here and talk about Romelu Lukaku the way you've spoken about him, it's absolutely absurd.
Oh.
Like Daniel said, when we played against Arsenal, yeah, people can say it's just Arsenal, whatever. But you can see it in him. You can see the hunger in him. You can see his link-up play, his hold-up play, everything about him. And you cannot simply look at this Chelsea team and think, like Virgil van Dijk and Joel Matip are going to pocket Lukaku. There's absolutely no way that you can honestly, with your whole heart, say that that's going to happen. After watching what happened against Arsenal, after watching Lukaku at Inter Milan, you sit there and disrespect his name like that. There's absolutely no way that's going to happen. And on top of that, people need to remember, you have a Van Dijk who's just come back from a very serious injury. You have not played ballers yet. You haven't played ballers yet. You guys think Van Dijk is fresh. You guys think Van Dijk is the best thing since sliced bread. I'm a huge Van Dijk fan, but tearing your ACL is not no baby play. It's not a joke. So when you're going to be playing against strikers like Lukaku, better put respect on his name, because you don't want to see Van Dijk go out for another 6 months. That's something that you don't want to see, and I don't want Lukaku to cause that. But don't disrespect his name, because he's gonna get angry. He's gonna get annoyed, and he's gonna start running circles.
I'm so scared. Lukaku's angry.
Circles, baby.
I've seen Lukaku so many times at Anfield. He scored 1 goal with 4 different clubs. And it's interesting, Daniel is mentioning Prison Break. He fails to realize Van Dijk and Matip are Schofield and Sucre. So, like, you know, you can't just compare, like, whoever you want in the series. Those, because Van Dijk is very high IQ and stuff. So, with Lukaku, I'm not worried about him whatsoever. I know. And the thing is, when you say you have a high IQ, Sucre gets but you just said you haven't played ballers yet. You just played Arsenal and Palace. You count those as ballers?
But the thing is, it's a bigger test. It's a bigger test than Burnley and Norwich. It is a bigger test than Burnley and Norwich. You can admit that, right? You can admit it's a bigger test than Burnley.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
Exactly. They are a bigger test than Burnley and Norwich.
But that has nothing to do with Lukaku.
I'm not finished. When you think about us playing Arsenal, right? You think about a rivalry. There is a huge rivalry playing against Arsenal. Going to the Emirates as a striker for Chelsea is not as simple as you think it is. Many of our strikers have gone there and failed. Lukaku goes there, 1 match in, he bangs, and he's one of our best players on the pitch. One of the best players of both teams on that pitch. You telling me that he's going to come to Anfield and get pocketed? It's out of pocket.
Just don't come to the end with Harvey Elliott. That's all I'm saying. Don't come.
When did I mention Harvey Elliott? The thing is, Anita, you failed to...
Chelsea,
the goal.
Listen, guys, what
can I just say one thing?
I want to get a rival's perspective on this. Neeks, you're watching
this
game. You're watching this game, Neeks.
Which game? Between Hoffman and the Chelsea fans?
Are we having a bin session on Prison Break? I don't know. How do you see this game going? Who do you think is going to have the tactical and physical edge on the day?
First and foremost, I learned nothing from Romelu Lukaku against Arsenal. Absolutely nothing. And I'm not saying he's not a great striker. I'm not saying he's not a good striker. But it was Arsenal. We can't spend the first half an hour of the show watching Arsenal and then the next 15 minutes talking about a masterclass. Let's speak about Gabriel Jesus' masterclass against Norwich. We're not going to do that because it's Norwich. Like, Romelu Lukaku does what Romelu Lukaku does. He scores against small teams. Small game Romelu, as my guy Ramsey calls it. This is the test. And I haven't seen Lukaku pass this test because with all the goals that he scored in Syria, with all the goals that he scored for Belgium, when the push comes to shove in those big moments, his record in the big games ain't as impressive as it should be for a man who scored as many goals as he has. He scored, I think Hossan said, 1 goal in with 4 different teams at Anfield. That's damning. That's damning. And I haven't seen anything from him to go into it with confidence to say he's going to score against Liverpool or he's going to put in a man-of-match performance. We're talking about a great centre-back in Virgil van Dijk with a great goalkeeper behind him. Listen,
But you know what it is, Nietzsche?
It might be pocketed. I'm not going to lie. It might be
pocketed.
Thank you.
It's the pocketed word. I don't think it's a certainty that he's going to be pocketed,
given
the circumstances around all of it.
It's possible.
It's not a certainty. that he's going to be pocketed. It's a likelihood. I hear it because you said, I'm not even going to front. He's not a big game player as we've seen in the past. He might be Daniel thinks he's a new and improved guy. Fair. But again, this is the test for Chelsea. This is the test for Lukaku. But disrespecting Lukaku, nah, baby, I'm not going to do that.
It might come back and bite her.
No. It won't come back to bite.
You know what?
I'm certain of it. I'm certain of it.
Go on, Daniel.
Just very quickly, I've got a bone to pick with you, Terry. I'm sorry. Shall I tell you why? What we're going to do, is we're going to revisit this when he wins us the game. And I want those clips. I want these clipped up. I want it. Ooh, because I'm saying it right now. This guy is a different guy.
Hang on, you're acting like I am not the man who clips people up and puts someone in there. That's my job.
It was just for dramatic effect. It was just for dramatic.
I was like, what did I do? I just brought Hassim on here. I thought I was getting to go today. We've got some super chats. I've got to go back through some super chats that we missed a little bit earlier on. First one was from Neil O'Callaghan. It says the last time Tuchel and Klopp faced off at a packed Anfield created one of Liverpool's most magical European evenings. Klopp to outdo Tuchel once again is what Neil O'Callaghan says. Next one was from Father. This says, don't worry, that's getting clipped. Ike says, Terry, clip this from the match reactions after Lukaku bags a hat-trick on Saturday. This guy is mad. That is from man like Ike. We have a super chat here now from YUFC that says, nah, Neeks, as a Man United fan, you sound bitter. Lukaku boss Milan derby, boss the Serie A championship against Juve. He showed up in big games. Stop it, is what's being said there. We have a few more super chats I've got to delve into. KC says, Lukaku has always been crap against decent defenses. Bonucci, Giorgino Chiellini, of course, tore him. Flopped in every Champions League game. Guy is a crap footballer. Stat pads against farmers is what KC has got to say. Boov's brother 3 here didn't say anything with his super chat, but thank you very, very much, my friend, for the donation. I want to take a look here at the odds, though. I'm going to get Jesse's take on this in a few moments, but smash that like button, ladies and gentlemen, right now. It's all fun and games here. I want to take a look at some of the odds in relation to this game. I'm going to put them up on the screen now so you can see them. And we'll click into this game here. You can see them on the bottom of the screen as well. Liverpool, of course, slight favourites at 6-4 to win. Okay, you've got 23-10 being the draw. And you've got 15-8. Now, it's actually changed slightly from earlier on when I did my graphics because more money is being put on Chelsea. A lot of people fancying them. But we've got some of the boost odds here as well that we want to take a look at. So I want your help, as in the panel and the viewers, to help create a bit of like an acca here. We're going to put a number of bets together and see what we can put in place here. First question is, I'm going to ask the panel, who's winning the game? I'm going to go for it. There's 5 of you. So I'm going to go with a majority vote on who's winning this game. I'll go to Jess first. Who do you see picking up the 3 points?
Chelsea.
Neeks?
Liverpool.
Listen, we know you're Liverpool. Daniel?
Chelsea.
Okay, so we're 2-2 because Anita said a draw, right? So, audience. Now, this shows how much you're going to back your team, right? Liverpool or right Chelsea as quick as you can in the live chat. That is who I'm going to put into my betting slip. Get it done now. Quickly. I'm giving you 5 seconds. 5 seconds to get it in. The majority that I see is getting picked.
Chelsea. It's Chelsea.
I'm seeing now. You got to type fast. Some of you have got fast hands on the internet. What have you been doing? I'm seeing this. There we go. I'm seeing a lot of Chelsea. I'm seeing a bit of Liverpool as well. In fact, I can't decide. First one to super chat. The name of the club. That's who I'm going with. Get the super chat in. I can see it. Get it done now. People will be typing like this. I see so much Liverpool as well. Liverpool fans back in their club here. I feel like this is a race, and I don't know who's going to get it done. Who's coming through first? Literally can be whatever you want it to be. 99p, lowest amount. Get it in. That's what I'm putting the money on. Get it done now, people. That's who I'm putting into the bet. Is it going to be Liverpool? Is it going to be Chelsea? Oh, there we go. Straight away. Liverpool.
Yeah.
Liverpool. Collective have stepped up. Put Liverpool in. Liverpool win. Liverpool win the race. And we had another one coming for Liverpool. They've bagged it. So that's the first one that's going in. Liverpool are going in. And that actually fits quite well with the narrative for the next part of the show that's on its way here. We have some more super chats, though, that have come through as well. I don't want to ignore these. Liverpool again. Liverpool again. Liverpool fans are back in their club. They are back in their club. Liverpool again that we've seen come through here. Liverpool again from Neil O'Callaghan. We do have one from Damien that's come in here for Chelsea as well, and I will honour that and also put a Chelsea bet on as well. I was going to make a note of that to respect my wonderful viewers and super chat. But thank you for the donations to the Football Terrace. But I want to delve more into this Lukaku conversation. Look at some. I'm going to put Hussam on the spot here, and we're going to take a deeper look at VVD versus Lukaku. So there's some of the odds here, and I want your take on this here. So Lukaku to score at any time is 6-4. To not score a goal, 5-2. So it's more likely he scores and doesn't score a goal. Also 17-2, Lukaku to score a brace or more. They're the odds in terms of individual player in this game. I assume, Hussam, you think he's scoring nothing. He ain't going to score a goal at all in any capacity, no goal.
I said the only way he scores a goal is through a penalty. That's the only way I see him scoring. But open play, it's not going to happen. Like, even if you look at the goal Chelsea scored against Arsenal, like the thing Tierney did, that's not going to happen to Liverpool. Obviously, the structure defensively is like 100 times better than Arsenal. So you're not going to see Robertson suddenly running into midfield to create space for Reece to run into. So we don't do that at big clubs. So the thing is with Lukaku, the only way he scores is through a penalty. So if you think that Chelsea are going to get the penalty, maybe if he takes it, but in open play, it's never going to happen. Never going to happen.
I mean, Neats, what are you saying here? Lukaku to get a single goal, or do you reckon he could bag himself a brace or more?
Who, me or Neeks?
Anita, sorry.
Oh, listen, I don't know, innit? Like, I don't wanna say Lukaku this, Lukaku that, because you're pushing me to do it. But no, I don't want to say that, because not you, Terry. But the thing is, right? What I want to stress is that Lukaku ain't no fool in it. He's not no rookie in this game, right? If you can get as close as you want to Lukaku, and you can get as compact as you want around Lukaku, but at the end of the day, he's so good at bullying defenders. It's unbelievable. Like, people are currently using their glasses of what they've seen in the Premier League, but you look at Lukaku now, he's a different person, and we saw it against Arsenal. Like, he's just a different person. So saying he's not going to score from open play, I don't believe it. I think maybe one goal for Lukaku. I do think if we do score, it's going to come from Lukaku or probably come from Timo Werner. It's a toss-up between those two, but I do think Lukaku can get on that score sheet, and it's not going to be as easy to pocket Lukaku as you're saying, bro. Like, it's just so befuddling that you can sit here and honestly, with your whole heart, open your mouth and say Lukaku's going to get pocketed by Virgil van Dijk. Like, I rate Virgil so highly, and I rate Matip so highly. Two of my favorite defenders in the league. Like, I rate them really highly, but I just don't think they're going to pocket him. I think he's going to cause a lot of troubles. And if history dictates anything, I really do feel like Tuchel might use him as that focal point where Liverpool are so hell-bent on stopping Lukaku that Lukaku's link-up play is going to be overlooked. And he's going to link up with Timo Werner. He's going to link up with Mason Mount. He's going to link up with whoever starts that match. And they're going to be the ones getting the runs in behind him. So if he doesn't score, he's most likely going to have an assist on his play, and will probably be that focal player that Liverpool try to stop. And that's where they're going to make a mistake on it. But Klopp is a smart guy. He's smarter than that. But let's see.
What's your head saying, Jess? In terms of this game, we're obviously talking about Lukaku now. Is he going to score on the day? Is he going to pick up a goal? But overall, in terms of this football match, who do you see coming out on top, Tuchel or Klopp, from a tactical point of view?
Well, I mean, one thing that I can say about Chelsea under Tuchel is that I've yet to see them under major stress. They just look really comfortable in their shape, in their formation, and what the manager is telling them to do. So it's hard for me to see them in a situation where Liverpool is going to be able to do what Liverpool does against them. Like, Liverpool want to open game. They want to run into space. They want to cause people to come out of their shape. And Chelsea don't come out of their shape. They're really disciplined tactically. So I think it's going to be really, really close. Like, I don't think either manager is going to outdo the other one a lot. Like, I really think it's going to be close. I think Lukaku and Virgil van Dijk are going to actually just cancel each other out. When I said that Chelsea would win, it wasn't based on Lukaku having a masterclass. I think that he'll have a good game. He'll occupy the center backs, but it's going to be about Havertz and Werner causing issues for the Liverpool back line. So I think it's going to be close. I think Liverpool are going to have a hard time stretching Chelsea and putting them under pressure, because in that shape, they're really confident. So yeah, I don't think this matchup is really about Lukaku and Virgil van Dijk. I think it's about the other players on the field, because they're gonna cancel each other out, in my opinion.
I hear that. I mean, Daniel, when you think about other players, I mean, are you confident, for instance, going up against Timmercast, untested in the Premier League, really? Like, there's no Robertson in this team, as an example. Trent's always looked at as being a little bit of a concern defensively. Lukaku is the focus because of the money and the start to his second chance at Chelsea, really. But do you actually see it being other areas of the pitch where you could exploit Liverpool?
1,000%. Like, it's no disrespect to Liverpool, but they've peaked as a side. We've seen the best version of that Klopp side, and now we're trying to see how Klopp can maybe remold this team and almost just become something new, something different. And obviously you're seeing Harvey Elliott come into the team, Simicast obviously being able to deputise for Robertson and whatnot. But I just feel like you're going into a game where Tuchel knows that he's going to bring in the likes of Kante. Kante is going to come into this game. This is a game for Werner. We saw how dangerous Werner was in the game at Anfield last season. I actually think Tuchel's so weird with the way he selects players for this game. I actually think Ziyech could really play like that Ziyech, Werner, Lukaku kind of combination, which we obviously without Lukaku, we saw that Ziyech, Werner combination with someone else. So I think Ziyech, Werner and Lukaku could actually work in this game. You never know who could play behind Lukaku. But in terms of weak links, I would say the main focus for Chelsea is ensuring we remain disciplined. We ensure that Salah, Mane and Jota don't get the freedom of the pitch to do what they want to do and whatnot. Liverpool will create chances. No one's saying that won't happen. It's just about how we limit the amount of chances Liverpool create and then how clinical we can be on the other end. Because we will both get chances in this game, and I just think it's about the team that is more clinical. Obviously, everyone knows Lukaku's my guy. I'm going to back him to the end. And I do think he will have a good game. But yeah, it's definitely about the other players for sure. I agree with Jess with that. Like, this is a game for other players to step up.
Yeah,
it's so crazy, yeah, because you guys are right. Like, we're focusing on Lukaku here, but Chelsea's defense is actually quite airtight at the minute. Who's to say that Rudiger won't pocket Salah, huh? Who's to say that? Who's to say Rudiger won't pocket Mane?
You can say that.
For me,
you can say that. That's up to you.
Who's to
you
say
can
all
say
of this? Do you know what I'm saying?
I'm confident.
On a serious note, though, like, we've got the likes of Kante coming in. We've got the likes of Rudiger. We've got the likes of Christensen. To be honest, I personally don't want Christensen to play. His history against Liverpool ain't too good. But we've got Thiago Silva coming in. You know, we've got solid players that are on our back line that are able to handle Salah, able to handle Mane. It's gonna be difficult. Yeah, listen, like, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you like, these men are gonna get pocketed or these men are gonna do this. Nah, baby, because this is definitely gonna be a battle of the tacticians. Like, I used to think the battle of the tacticians was Pep and Tuchel, but really and truly, it's gonna be Klopp and Tuchel, and it's gonna be nice to see which German comes out on top. Because boy, I'm expecting a cracking match. And if it's not going to be a cracking match, it's going to end up like a Liverpool versus Man United, and I'm not trying to see that. So, way, I just want a good match.
Don't try to drag Man United into this. It's going to be Chelsea. It's going to be Chelsea Liverpool when it was Jose against Rafa. 0-0, 0-0, 0-0, 1-0, 0-0. Don't try to bring us into
but
this.
Those 0-0s were so interesting.
They were.
They were interesting.
Yeah. There's a comment here from Dinesh that says this will be the first time that Fabinho, Henderson and Thiago are playing together with Van Dijk and the front three. We've not seen them play together yet. And I mean, all those things are very intriguing indeed. VAR here says Klopp has won 9 out of 14, losing 2 and drawing 3. I mean, that must be in his last 14. The run is very, very good from them as well. I'm going to go to the betting slip here, though. I'm going to go to the betting slip over here on BetVictor. Remember, you can sign up and get your account done now. We've got some wonderful offers on. Not only the £5, once you place a £5 bet, do you get a £30 free offer. There's also a loyalty club that you can sign up to on the offers page as well. When you do that, if you place 5 bets of £5 or more during the week, you'll earn yourself a brand new £5 bet. So if you're someone that does like to have a little bit of a gamble, a little bit of a responsible flutter, and you're over the age of 18, sign up with BetVictor. Get your loyalty bonuses in right now. All the links to do that are inside our description below. So go and check that out right about now.
Yes.
Have Arsenal just scored?
No, they didn't.
Have Arsenal scored? You're right.
It's the Worthington Cup.
I forgot to mute myself.
But did they score?
No, we're offside. Sorry.
Oh,
Sorry. Get me off the main screen. Go back to your bet. I'm sorry.
It's the Worthington Cup. This is where Arsenal. This is what Arsenal's become. It's the Worthington Cup against West Bromwich Albion, and Jess has put up I don't know, streamers and fireworks because
their team scoring no matter what needs. Don't act like you don't celebrate even when you guys score against whoever. Come on now.
I hear that. We'll go back to the betting slip here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to Daniel and to Daniel speaking with Chess today. Am I going with a single goal any time for Lukaku, or am I going with the score 2 or more? What am I going with? What am I going with, Daniel?
Nah, you know what? It'll be mad for
You
me.
call that Kane with Chess?
He's gonna score one. He's gonna score one. He's gonna score one.
He's gonna score one. So I'm gonna select that as an option, and then I'm gonna go. That's been selected now, so I'm gonna go to my betting slip here. There's 3 things in here, and I don't know why there's 3 things. Okay, so I'm gonna get rid of that correct score. I've already done, get rid of that one. Right. So what I'm gonna do is honor those super chats, right? And for Liverpool to win, I'm going to put in the 20. I'm going to put a £20 bet on that as per the super chat that came in for that. So that's £20 on that win. But I'm also going to put into this as well the £25 that somebody pasted in for Lukaku to score any time in this game. There you can see it. My stake of £45. It's going in now. Thank you for them super chats, ladies and gentlemen. If you fancy putting on the same bets or different bets, you know what to do by signing up with BetVictor. That's now been placed. Potential return there for me, as you can see, of £112. I mean, the odds are not huge in relation to that happening. But thank you very much indeed.
But I'll tell you what, I mean, I'm actually very, very surprised that they've got Lukaku as favourite to score over Salah at Anfield. I'm very surprised.
You know what it is though? It's 2 things. New signing bounce. That's what happens with like odds and whatnot. You know, when a new signing scores on his debut, they almost back that person over the person who always scores. You know what I mean? Like, it's just to hype it up a bit. And the second thing I was going to say very quickly was, I just find it so refreshing that the Liverpool fans are finally back on the terrace, man. It's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. I mean, you lot have gone away. You've gone into hibernation for a bit. So it's good, man. Keep coming back, man. We enjoy having you here.
I was never hibernated. Never hibernated. I've been a loudmouth since I was 5 years old. I've been a loudmouth. Don't worry about it. I never got into hibernation.
I am not surprised, my friend, that you were a loudmouth for 5 years old. That does not surprise me one singular bit. Listen, everyone who's tuned in today, thank you very much indeed. Very enjoyable show as always. Chelsea versus Liverpool, of course, coming up on Saturday. Manchester City versus Arsenal. Still more transfer news to come on the Football Terrace as well. Neeks, Jess, Hussam, and Daniel, thank you very much for joining us again. Everyone who's tuned in, smash that like and that share button. But until next time, take care. Goodbye. God
Chelsea
bless.
to win 3-0.
Oh, Neeks is I didn't press the end button. Neeks, do you know what, Neeks? What I'm going to do?
3-0 at Anfield. My God.
I'm putting it in now. I'm putting this in.
Don't do it.
I'm going to put some. Let me put this in now. Popular, this one says. I don't know if that's popular. Where's the correct? I need to find correct scores. Here we go. Chelsea to win 3-0 is 35-1 as it stands right now. What have I got left? I've got £6 left in my account.
£1 on it, mate. £1. Keep the fire.
I'm back in the neater. Right? I'm back in the neater.
It's not even back in the neater. What are you doing?
Anita, I will share my winnings with you if it happens, right?
If Chelsea win 3-0, give them the Premier League title right now.
Yeah,
There
do you know what I mean?
we go. That's been put on now. That's been done. 206. Do you know what, Neats? We'll take the money out and I'll take you out for dinner. That's what we'll do. I'll take you out for dinner. That's what we'll do. So there we go. Neats just grew that chest right at the last second, just as you thought I was clicking the end button. Listen, everyone who's tuned in, thank you. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. And